Welcome, one and all, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. This morning, I flew in on the red eye from Los Angeles, and boy, are my arms not holding Emmys. See you Monday. Speaking of losers, Donald Trump, I will catch you up on the latest from his campaign/court appearances in my never-ending segment.
Road to the White House and/or Big House. Donald Trump v. the people. America decides and/or convicts.
Bing, 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 boom, shoot.
I like it. I like it very much. Big news today is the big news from Monday. Donald Trump won the Iowa caucus with 51% of the vote. Iowa, apparently short for, I don't want to live in a democracy anymore. Now, Trump's victory was so decisive that the Associated Press declared him the winner before many Iowans had even cast their votes, which feels just a tad premature. You don't see this at the Super Bowl.
Will you please toss the coin? It is tails. Kansas City wins the game. This job is easy.
Sure. It's a safe bet. Pretty safe bet. It's worth noting that this caucus was decided by 14% of the state's registered Republicans. So, Trump won 51% of 14% of about a quarter of the population of one state out of 50. So the results are less the will of the people and more the will of Carl. Just listen to what Trump told the faithful about voting in the dangerous sub-zero weather.
You can't sit home. If you're sick as a dog, you say, darling, I gotta make it. Even if you vote and then pass away, it's worth it.
Look, folks. Look, even if you pass away, just make sure you angle your corpse so that it collapses onto the Trump button. But we will need your vote again in the general election, so please get reincarnated as a fully grown adult or a very politically involved squirrel. It's nuts.
He also gave his supporters this incentive.
The caucus will be filled with a lot of great people. I say if you're single, you'll probably meet your future husband or wife.
Who, of course, will then die like a dog, but will come back as a politically involved squirrel.
Trump also put Jimmy Carter's name into his filthy mouth.
My wife attended the funeral 2 months ago of Rosalind Carter, and it was beautiful. And Jimmy Carter was there, and I thought to myself, Jimmy Carter is happy now because he will go down as being a brilliant president by comparison to Joe Biden.
Only Trump would see a man at his wife's funeral and think, I bet he's happy now. Coming in 30 points behind Trump was Florida governor and toddler realizing mommy was behind the couch the whole time. Ron DeSantis. Despite the trouncing, DeSantis bragged about being able to continue his campaign.
They were predicting that we wouldn't be able to get our ticket punched here out of Iowa. You helped us get a ticket punched. We've got our ticket punched.
Ron, you keep saying ticket. I think you mean nuts. So, the DeSantis train is steaming on to New Hampshire, where he's currently polling at 5%. But don't give up, Ron, because when asked which candidate they preferred, 2% refused to answer. If they're ashamed to say it out loud, that's a DeSantis voter. Coming in just behind DeSantis to the race to not win the nomination was former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, seen here eating the world's largest invisible ear of corn. Haley got 19%, which would put her in third. And that made her post-caucus message a little confusing.
I can safely say, tonight Iowa made this Republican primary a two-person race.
Calling it a two-person race when you came in third. That, my friend, is some real three-dimensional chess. Or as she calls it, two-dimensional. Now, some pundits are saying that Haley came in third because the Republican Party is racist. But after Iowa, she went on Fox News and pushed back on that theory.
Are you a racist party? Are you involved in a racist party?
No. We're not a racist country, Brian. We've never been a racist country.
Not the most surprising answer from a candidate who doesn't think slavery caused the Civil War. She must have learned history from the critically acclaimed film 12 Years an Unpaid Intern. Yeah, they don't talk about the college credit. They never talk about the college credit. Those weren't the only losers. Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson suspended his campaign after coming in 6th place. Now, you may not have heard of Asa Hutchinson, but you've definitely never heard of the guy who somehow beat him for 5th place, Ryan Binkley. Who is Ryan Binkley, you may ask, as I did into the mirror this morning? Apparently, he's a pastor, a businessman, and according to this picture from a recent interview, that coworker who never brings anything into the office to decorate because, quote, you never know when it's all gonna end. Now, unlike that quitter Hutchinson, Binkley is staying in, and I am all in on Ryan Binkley's Binkmentum. Nikki Haley was right. This is a two-person race. Trump train versus Big Bink. You got this, Brian. I mean, Ryan, but maybe. Go with Brian. You look more like a Brian and nobody knows your name anyway. There was one positive thing to come out of Iowa, and that was this interview on Newsmax with MAGA pundit Dick Morris before the voting started. Take a look.
Dick Morris, your thoughts tonight?
Well, I think Trump is going to score a huge victory. I think the media is going to try to downplay it because, as you correctly said, they're basically supporting Ron, they're basically supporting Nikki Haley.
Weird. Though it does explain Newsmax's slogan, all the news that's fit to be interrupted by a sad man in his underwear. Wow. Was that blurred?
It looks blurred.
Was that blurred or were those boxers? That was boxers?
Wow.
Those look like boxers made of blur. maybe his body is just blurred. Oh, speaking of sad men, finishing a strong and weak 4th in Iowa was entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, seen here yelling his catchphrase, "Kagop!" After pulling single digits, Ramaswamy dropped out of the race and immediately endorsed Trump, even sharing the stage with him in New Hampshire for an awkward amount of time.
We will not stop until we get this job done. Thank you all. God bless you and your families.
Stop the hug! Stop the hug! Stop the hug! All right. It's nice knowing I have my own mob. That's good. Now, he may be in a new state, but Trump's singing the same old song with a new twist on this classic rant about immigration.
They're coming in from mental institutions and insane asylums. That's Hannibal Lecter. Did you ever hear of Hannibal Lecter? They're being dropped into our country. Hannibal Lecter is coming in, lots of them.
Yes, hordes of Spanish-speaking Hannibal Lecters are skydiving into our country to steal jobs from hard-working American cannibals. I'm sorry, but I believe your liver should be eaten with fava beans and a nice Chianti, not with a mole sauce and a Dos Equis. Then it was time to complain about inflation.
Look at the price as an example of bacon, up 5 times? What does 5 times mean?
What does five times mean? It means 5 times.
Look, as an example, just look at this. 2 + 2 = 4. What does equals 4 mean? Many are saying 5. And no one knows what 5 means.
Also, for the record, bacon did not go up by 5 times. It went up at most 30%. That's not great, but don't scare your voters like that, okay? Their hearts can't take it because of all the bacon. We got a great show for you tonight. My guests are Clive Owen and Juno Temple. And when we come back, it's time for Cyborgasm.